Okay, we also have a report of a funnel cloud in Butler County. So that is why this tornado warning has been issued. There's been a report of a funnel cloud. This was about 4 minutes ago. So let's look at rotation and see if we can maybe pick out. Yeah, so and this is why those of you in Franklin, I wanted you to go ahead and be in that safe place. You see how this rotation has exited the polygon? There's not a tornado warning here right now. I'm not sure if maybe this was an error when they drew up the polygon. Okay, now we have that. You see that yellow circle on your screen? This is an increasing indication that we have rotation not just popping up on radar, but now live Doppler 7 radar saying, hey, this rotation is getting stronger and needs to be taken seriously. So you can see, Franklin, you're not in the tornado warning, and this is coming pretty much right on top of you. So I want you to go ahead, if you haven't already done so, get to that safe place right now. If you live in Franklin or nearby, get to that tornado safe place. Again, bathroom, small interior room, maybe a closet, or a room without any windows. If you don't have a basement, that's where I want you to go. If you have a basement, get there, cover up your head, maybe a pillow, a blanket, something to protect your head. Not seeing any evidence of flying debris at the present second, but that'll be the next thing I check. I just wanted you to see this yellow circle. Again, this is a good look at live Doppler 7 radar telling us, hey, there's a very strong area of rotation here right now that we need to take seriously. Our full screen. So I was just checking with our friends at the National Weather Service, and according to Mercer County Emergency Management Agency, they are seeing someone has called in some rotation here south of Union City, moving northward. So this is right now on the Ohio-Indiana state line. I'm just going to pull away from the Montgomery County storm for just a couple of minutes because I want to make sure we're balancing our time between the warnings. This particular storm here, you notice too that there's no lightning on this particular shower. Not until you get up towards Union City, where the rotating part of the thunderstorm is there's no lightning. So you may not have any indication that something's actually coming your way, but that area of rotation drifting off toward the north, this is the Ohio-Indiana state line. You've got Randolph County until 9:15, the eastern parts of Randolph County under a tornado warning. The Weather Service in Indianapolis services Randolph County, and then you have western Darke County. Those of us north and west of New Madison, west of Greenville, south and west of Ansonia. You notice this is a very rural area out here in western Darke County, even to the north of Hollinsburg. At this point, Hollinsburg, you're in the clear. You can come out of your tornado safe spaces. But again, this is that Ohio-Indiana state line, and that rotation is moving right along the state line. I'll step back over so we can put that into motion for you. But those of you not too far from Union City, I just wanted to call that out to you because, again, we're getting a little bit closer to darkness now. You can actually see how that rotation is actually kind of drifting northwestward. Check that out in the last 15 minutes. Not something you see every day with rotations or thunderstorms moving backwards, but we have that area of low pressure nearby, and what happens is you have that counterclockwise flow. So as that happens, you get sometimes some rotations will kind of move counterclockwise. That's what's happening right now there just to the south of Union City. Again, there was some rotation that was called in. I want to take you inside to southern Montgomery County, give you an update on this tornado warning. Again, had some stronger rotation about 10 minutes ago. Let's get you a new look at that. It's a little messy. It's a little broad here. So what I mean by that is you can see down there toward Miamisburg, those reds and greens are a little broader in nature. They're not super tight and focused on one specific area. So with that said, I still don't want you to let your guard up. I still think a brief tornado is possible here. We're keeping a very close eye on that. And even the second area of rotation here to the south of Trotwood has really weakened, but you see those brighter reds. And what that's an indication is it winds heading away from the radar. And even if there's not a tornado happening, there's likely some strong winds not too far from Trotwood. In fact, let's pixel query that area and see how strong those winds are popping up there. Pretty close to 60 miles per hour. So if you're in Trotwood, let's put the radar in motion. You can see how this is heading up toward you, but that area of red and green has weakened a good bit. That's good news. That means that the chance of a tornado is decreasing, but we still have some pretty bright reds indicating there on radar. That would tell me that there's some strong winds heading into Trotwood as we speak right now. So with that said, nevertheless, a funnel cloud has been spotted, and I want you to be in that tornado safe place. Looking at where that rotation is now, actually, I'm actually getting some increasing concern that we may have a tornado down. This is looking from the Dayton Terminal Doppler radar over Taylorsburg. There's Morgan Place and Happy Corners, Union Road and Westbrook Road. If I just called out any road that you live nearby or that sounds familiar, get to that tornado safe place right now. You see those greens and reds. I'll step back over full screen if we can for just a few moments, please. You can see here, again, the reds, winds heading away from the terminal Doppler site, greens, winds heading toward the radar site. So where you see those are closer together there, that's the most likely spot where we have a tornado that may be on the ground. Again, we had a report of a funnel cloud that's increasing that concern that we have a tornado in progress, working that towards the northeast. You've got the small community of Northview. There's Westbrook Road, Irvington, Little York, and then up there towards Morgan Place. Here's I-70. There should be nobody on I-70 right now to the east of Clayton. That's going to be up there not too far. It's going to be east of I-70 and State Route 49. That's going to be heading toward that direction. So maybe we can check out that ODOT camera as well, see if it's facing toward the east, and we might actually be able to see something here. Again, a relatively strong sign of rotation ongoing, exiting Trotwood and Taylorsburg, moving towards Morgan Place in Kinsey right now. Cody, anything? New tornado warning, Clayton, Trotwood, Vandalia, Dayton International Airport. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to step back over here. I mentioned that this area of rotation near Trotwood had weakened a little bit, and I'll take a look at the Dayton radar in just a second. But again, new tornado warning now for those of us just to the east of Phillipsburg, down through Clayton, Trotwood, Vandalia. You can see the overall look and structure on radar. It's a little messy, but you can see a little bit of that hook starting to try to develop here once again. We've seen these storms go through this cycle of pulsing up and pulsing down, going in and out in terms of being stronger or weaker this evening, and that trend continues now as we're looking at this particular storm. I called out Trotwood about 10 minutes ago for some stronger winds coming in. Looks like the Weather Service may be seeing some signs that that storm may be increasing in terms of that potential for a tornado. So let's go back over to velocity. We'll take a look at that so we can get an idea of what's happening. Okay, yeah, it actually has spiked back up again. So here's Post Town Road, North Union Road, Sebald Road, Hoke Road, and near Denlinger Road. If you're in any of those areas that I just called out, we're seeing a broad area of rotation. This is where, again, the greens, winds heading toward the radar, reds, winds heading away from the radar. Again, opposites attract each other. So when you're seeing that type of signature on radar, what that's telling us is that we're seeing some areas of rotation, not super strong right now, but it is something we need to keep our eyes on. Okay, now this is the Dayton terminal radar. Okay, this is actually a little bit more concerning. So let me step back over here. So again, we're looking from Casstown. So that's up there in Miami County, looking toward the storm. It's a little messy here because, as you can see, we're having some radar issues here with part of the radar being, but some reds and greens closer together and a little tighter. This radar is able to look a little lower, closer to the ground, not quite down to the ground, but it gives us a little bit of a lower level scan, and we're seeing some increasing signs of rotation right over Trotwood just in the last couple of minutes. That's why this tornado warning has come out. So now that's drifting off to the north and east. This is I-70. There's State Route 49, Hoke Road. There's Trotwood. You're working up there towards the northeast. Here's Salem Avenue. That is the northwest connector. If you're looking just to the west of downtown Dayton, working off to your north and west. Vandalia's up here. The Dayton International Airport sits right in here. So if you know anybody in those particular areas that I just called out, also east of Clayton and east of Brookville, you're going to want to be in that tornado safe space right now. So again, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get yourself below ground. And again, helmet, pillows, something to protect your head from flying debris. While this may not be a tornado on the ground at this present second, what that does tell me is that we're seeing, again, that potential has increased briefly, and what will likely happen in about 10 to 15 minutes, that rotation will likely start to pulse down once again. There's a new scan of the radar there from the Dayton terminal Doppler, and some interesting signs here. Again, the greens heading off to the northeast, reds heading off to the southwest. Gives us an idea they're just in and around Trotwood and points just off to the north and east. Some stronger rotation there. Cody, go in, check us out, and see where that polygon is and see if you're in it. If you're inside the polygon, you respect it and you take action. If you're not in the polygon, so Piqua, Covington, Miamisburg, Germantown, Centerville, right now, you're not in the tornado warning. You don't need to take any action. You can, of course, keep an eye on things and be aware for conditions to change. But at the present moment, and now you just saw that tornado warning just popped off the screen. It was set to go until 9:30, but the Weather Service has went ahead and allowed that to expire, which is some good news.